So I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, but I'm not really sure where to start. Welcome to Crocks in the Car, or Krock in the Car, I guess, because it's just me today. I'm Jessica. We are actually on a little road trip right now and to see a concert, Lindsey Buckingham, for those who were wondering. And I went to the car because I kind of wanted to record this video just by myself. Like, I didn't want to be in the presence of anybody else while I record this video. So for those of you who are newer to our channel, my husband Brian and I started this channel back in 2018. Well, I guess we started it in 2019. We switched to a whole food plant-based diet in 2018 for weight loss. And that's why we started this channel, was our like little adventure in a plant-based diet, sharing recipes and sharing our ups and downs and all of that. But earlier this year, in June of 2022, our channel kind of took a little bit of a different turn because we had, for lack of better words, a bomb dropped on our lives, which was cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 3, possibly 4. We're still trying to figure that all out. Ovarian cancer. And the main thing we're trying to figure out is whether or not it's metastasized, which the evidence is kind of stacking up in the favor of saying, yes, it has metastasized, putting me in stage 4. So obviously, anytime anything like this is dropped on your lives, your life, everything changes, right? In an instant. We went from, just doing our thing, working our jobs, getting back into the swing of things, like after the last few years have been a little strange with all the COVID stuff, just getting back into the swing of things, and making plans for the future. And then all of a sudden this bomb was just dropped and we found out that I have cancer. So before, if you actually look back on our channel, I've discussed openly my struggles with depression and anxiety quite extensively, on and off. There was one really specific video I made that we'll link to where I talked a lot about my anxiety. I've had anxiety most of like what I can remember of my life since I was little. I remember having anxiety back when I was in, even like middle school and like when I was a kid. I always thought that getting help for it was an option, but I did see it as like, if I can't fix myself, then there's something wrong with me, right? And that's definitely not the way you should approach mental health at all. And I've learned that. Luckily, I was able to get help within the last few years and, get over a lot of the anxiety and depression as well that I battle. Again, I talk about that a little bit more in the other video that I'll link to. If you guys are interested to check that out, go ahead. But given my diagnosis, a lot of people wonder, like, how is my mental health now? How am I coping? How is my anxiety? And in reality, I think my anxiety, I kept everything really under control. In the first few months, I felt like I had, I was, obviously I'm anxious about it, but, I kind of was at peace with like, okay, we're going to do the treatment, whatever. But as we've gotten into the real like chemo, I started chemo back in August, and I've done 4 rounds now. I have become a lot more depressed. I'm not really doing that well mentally. Physically, I'm in pain a lot too, and I've kind of just, people ask me all the time, like, isn't there something that they can do for the pain, and I do have things to help with the pain, but like at some point chemo just sucks and I just have to like wade my way through it. and pain is going to be associated with what I'm going through. So physically, I try to handle it the best I can. It sucks. It's not fun. But mentally, the last few treatments, after the last few chemo treatments, I've just been in a place where I'm just, like I said, not doing well. Like it feels like there's no point in anything. I feel like hopeless a lot of days. I just feel like it's very hard for me to describe. I feel bizarre in my own body. I feel like my body has turned against me in some ways. And I do lay there and think about like what all is going on in my body. And it's hard for me to wrap my brain really around all what's actually going on, like what the cancer is actually doing in my body. But I feel really weird and bizarre in my interactions with other people. I feel like when I'm having conversations with people, like it feels like I might as well be like in outer space. And I don't think it's anything that people notice, because a lot of people see me and they're like, wow, you look really healthy. You look, like you don't look like, other than the fact I obviously have no hair, you don't look like somebody who's going through cancer. You look like you're healthy. And it's just this bizarre feeling, because I don't feel normal at all. I don't feel like I'm doing well at all. Like, there are hours where I feel like I can't make it through that hour, or I won't make it through that day, let alone that week, let alone like 2 more chemo treatments, and then, a potential 3 more after that sometime, or like whatever else is in store. I do know that after I got the cancer diagnosis, like I said, mentally, I felt like I was doing pretty well. But when we started the chemo, that's when everything so I feel like it has to be the chemo drugs doing this to me, making me feel this really depressed, like just ambivalent, like complete blank slate, like nothing matters way that I feel. And I've talked to people who've been through chemo, and like, and yeah, it's chemo affects everyone differently, obviously. And I know it's got to be the chemo, and I tell myself this, and I can even feel like I'm like a week and a half out from the chemo now. I can feel it start to lift. I can feel that whatever mask the chemo is putting on my body, I can feel it start to just like lift ever so slightly every day. But even like yesterday, I said to Brian, I was like, do you notice a difference in me today? Because the day before yesterday, I had a really low day. And I actually went, I found this place in St. Louis where I can do these craft projects, and I'm working on this really cool mosaic of Peef. My bear. Peef's right there, you see him? So I'll show you guys my progress on the mosaic. It'll be like grouted, and it'll take me a long time to finish this project. Doing something like that project, is something I look forward to after my chemo. Like usually the week after, when we get home, when I start to feel like a little bit better, I'll usually try to take a day and go to the craft place and work on it. And that's been something that like I can just do, where I don't have to think about cancer. I can just work on my little project, and it's like it takes me to another place mentally. And I like, a lot of times, like, I'll just go by myself now. Like, I've done it with friends too, which is great. And I love my friends, and I love doing stuff with my friends too. But it's just like a therapeutic kind of thing for me. Speaking of therapy, I do have a therapist. I do talk to people. I have help. I am on medication for depression and anxiety. So I am seeking help. I am talking to people. So, I appreciate suggestions and everything, but like, yes, I do have that under control. I'm not really looking for suggestions right now. I'm just kind of letting you guys know how I'm feeling, and hopefully like this will help you if you are either going through something similar, or you know somebody who's going through something similar, and all of that. But like I said, I asked Brian yesterday, like, do you see a difference in me? And he's like, oh yeah, today you're actually like, you're cleaning, you're doing things. Like, I was organizing things in the bedroom. Like, I was, he's like, Jessica mode is back. And like, it's just little by little. I notice that it does lighten as I get further away from the chemo, but then it's time for another round of chemo. And like, I equate it literally to just being like knocked down into a pit every time I have chemo, and then you claw your way up, and then by the time you get to the surface level, then you just get knocked down again. But yeah, the truth is I'm not doing as well as some people might perceive that I'm doing. Like, I don't feel as strong, and I know you guys are going to comment and say you are strong, and yeah, I'm trying my hardest to make it through this, and to cope, and to be strong for those who are around me that love me. But I'm just struggling a lot mentally. I'm struggling with just the idea that every safety and security I thought I had in life, which the truth is we don't have, whether or not you've been diagnosed with something like I have, but every safety I thought I had was sort of like lifted from under me, and now I don't know what my future looks like. And the thing is, like, it's not like I ever knew what my future looked like. Like, none of us knows what's in the future. But now I have this like just like looming cloud of an uncertainty that has been put into the mix. And like, what do? You just have to keep living your life. You just have to keep going day after day, and like, you can't just put everything on hold because of it. But then I also think, like, the way my brain works is like, I think, well, what if I only have a few years left? Like, I feel like if I don't do stuff, I'm wasting time. I'm wasting, like, when am I going to be able to do it? And so it's just changed my entire perspective on life. And I'm very appreciative to have such an amazing community surrounding me, such an amazing husband, by my side. But yeah, I'm struggling. There are days where just like no decision that I make feels important or like it matters at all. So it's like, what am I going to eat? All right, cool. I'm going to make a salad. Like, is this salad even, like, I don't know. Is this salad helping me? I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel like anything I do matters or is important. Like, we could go, for a drive and go there, or go to this park or do that. Like, nothing. It's just so bizarre. You just feel like you could watching stuff on TV. It just feels, you just don't even want to do that. Just nothing, you're just like, And I've never, in all of the anxiety or depression or anything that I've ever experienced in my life, I've never experienced something like that. And I know, like, being on like the steroids that they give you and the chemo and all that, like, has to be causing this. And so I'm hopeful that, like, once I'm through that, that will lift and, like, I'll be back to being more of my normal self. But then, you know, it's like, oh, am I going to have to do more chemo in the future? Or, like, what does that look like? And just the uncertainty of it all, like, it just, I don't know. But I really just wanted to make a video to kind of share what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling with you guys. Again, this has just been kind of a ramble. Even the thought of making this video seems pointless to me. So hopefully, you know, you guys have gotten something out of it, or you can at least kind of, like, understand a little bit more of what's going on in my brain. But if you're not subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe. Of course, we always appreciate any likes and comments and all that kind of fun stuff. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this one, and we will see you next time on Crocks in the Kitchen. Bye.